Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo! Hump day, yeah!
Hey everyone, welcome to another Let's Talk Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Guys, this is going to be the final episode of 2025. I cannot believe this year is over pretty much already. I mean, next Wednesday we got Christmas Eve, not doing a show Christmas Eve. After that we got New Year's Eve, not doing a show New Year's Eve. Talk a little bit more about what I've got planned for 2026. But as you can see, I'm all set for the holidays. I figured it'd be fun to, throw a little something on for today. You got to check this out too. Hang on. Let me do this and do this a little bit. And you can see I got my ugly Christmas sweater on, although it's got Grogu on it, so how ugly could it possibly be? But I'm all set. I'm all decked out for the holidays here. The things I do for you guys, huh? I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope we have a little fun tonight. There's not a lot of news. I've got one or two things to discuss, and then, of course, we're going to spend most of the show on the big topic. That's the Arcade1up basic fun thing. I'm going to get into a little bit of what's going on there, kind of, show a little of the progression that kind of led to this, of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. I have a little bit of information for you guys. It's not like major stuff, but I did speak to somebody who's semi in the know. And I'll get into that a little bit more as we get into the show. But let's take a minute. Let's say hi to everybody who is in the chat here, starting with my good buddy Brooklyn Menace is here. I know I had a chat from the Me earlier today. He's always here very early as well. But the first guy to be on and chat was John Fritz, followed by Josh Dendy. And then we got Jim the Pacers fan here saying hello to everybody. We got Kurt the Daring as well. We got Tim York, a.k.a. Dr. Torque, as well here. So it's now Arcade Basic 1-Up Fun. Don't know. Don't exactly know what it's going to wind up being. We'll have to wait and see. Bobby1 ALU is here. I'm here to get Bill's take on this. He's the only one who'll give it to. Well, I would not say I'm the only one, but I try to do what I can. And look, when I don't know, I'm honest. I say I don't know. I say it's rumors, it's speculation. It's what I think it might be, but we go with it. I don't know if I said hi to Jason already. Jason Little Alien is here. My wonderful moderator who is always looking out for me as well as so many other people in the home arcade community, of course. We got Gallagher Guy 88 here as well. We got Triumph or Die here. Mad Astra also here. We got Prince Mal 07 is here. Is that you, Prince Malcolm? It's always so tough when with the way that YouTube is showing the names now. I can't stand it. It kills me. We got S Shrek 681 here. Rich Ongren is here. Wow, we got a lot of people in the chat already. We got J-Rod here as well. B. Kirby, always good to see you, of course. We got Burnt Orange here as well. Sir Sega stopping by. Matt Astra says, your weather sucks. Well, tell me about it. My weather sucks. It has been so freaking cold. We're actually going to have a little bit of a heat wave for the next couple of days. It's going to be in the 30s and 40s. I can't wait. We did already get some snow, which is always wonderful. Again, I know some of you guys out in the Midwest and whatever, you're like, yeah, you don't know what snow is. We've been very lucky the last few years in New York. We haven't gotten a lot of snow, but it's already snowed a couple of times this season, so I'm bracing for it. I have a feeling like that we're in for it here this season for some strange reason. Kurt the Daring. I have an ugly Atari ugly sweater. That's cool. Aw, you're too kind. The next 2 weeks we'll stay. I'll still be around. You'll still see some videos from me. I'm just not going to do a live. I know James Hates Everything was in the chat earlier as well. For some reason, oh, here we go. I did. Oh, good. I fixed that. So YouTube changed the handles, and live chat is permanent. Unfortunately, yeah, it sucks. I'm not a big fan of that at all. Mitchy B is here. We got Gamer Fridge. All the snow is melting. Not for me. Not all of it. Some of it has melted. It's not as bad as it was, but some of it has melted. Let's see who else we got. We got Dark Realm GM is here. We got Chris Nooner. We got Vic Vicious here. What else we got going on? We got Neo's Arcade News stopping by. Hey, Bill, great topic. I hope so. I know you, Neo. I know you've got some things planned for tomorrow night as well. So people may want to keep an eye out for that as well. We got Stock Jock here as well. Thanking Jason for his Intellivision help. A little behind the scenes going on there. All right, let's get into some things, and we'll say hi to more people as they jump in. But I wanted to touch on a couple of things real quick before we get into the main topic. And I'm going to start with this one because I know a lot of people have been really curious about this. And I'm curious how many of you guys picked this up because I haven't yet. Although I'm looking at it possibly on Steam. So there's been obviously a lot of interest in this new Terminator game, this Terminator 2D No Fate. Been seeing a lot of people post about this, seen some gameplay of it from a few people, and I haven't picked this up yet. Although, like I said, it's on a pretty decent price on Steam, so I think I might pick it up and maybe check it out this weekend. But guys, what do you think of this one? For those of you who have picked this up, let me know if it's worth it. All right? Hey, Mike of All Trades is here. Stick around, Moat. You are going to get some shout-outs as we get into some of the Arcade1up stuff later, for sure, because you were a big part of a lot of that, for sure. Trying for Die says, I beat it. It's awesome. Just kind of short. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from it, is that it's not a super long game. And that's one of the reasons why I was looking at it on Steam, because for Steam, it's on sale for like $26 or something right now. Whereas for the consoles, especially if you're going to buy like physical versions of this or whatever, it's like the normal like $40, $50, or $60 price that console games are. I don't know that I want to pay that kind of price for it on Switch or PlayStation or anything like that. I'd rather pay a much cheaper price to play a game like this, especially if it's on the short side. But I got to tell you, it does look really cool. I've been wanting to follow this. I've been following this for a while. It looks like it's going to be a lot of really just old school platforming fun. So I definitely cannot wait to check this one out. Let's see what Vic Fisher says. T2 is awesome. J-Rod, I've seen a lot of people streaming it. Looks good to me. Jason Lilalian. I don't know if that's for that game or for one of the other things that I know he's waiting on. Poor Jason. He was supposed to get he ordered one of the Commodore, the new Commodore 64 or whatever it is machines that are out, and his came with a little bit of damage to it. So hopefully he gets that sorted out, because that kind of sucks when you're waiting on something and you get it and it comes in a little damaged. So Jason, I hope you get that figured out. Prince Malcolm says it's an amazing game. That's my opinion. It's made specifically for arcade, which would be kind of cool. Mitchy B says he's waiting on a price drop on it. Said hi to you earlier, but I got lost in the sauce. Oh, is it $26 now on Switch? See, for that, I might get it for Switch as opposed to Steam, but I'll have to check that out and see. Has different stories in past, so it is actually a longer game. That's interesting. All right, that's cool. Yeah, alternate paths, so it keeps the replay value. That's always good. Even if the game, T2 arrives tomorrow. I got so screwed on a delay on my Shinobi physical too, but they mailed a new one out. Yeah, you haven't had a lot of luck with receiving stuff lately, have you? Not at all. Not at all. Oh my God. 17 inches of snowfall so far this winter in Chicago. Wow. We haven't had nearly that many. Probably with the couple of snowfalls we've had, at least in my area, it's probably still under a foot. But we've had years where we barely get snow until like January or February. So to already have some this somewhat early in the season, like I said, I'm bracing for it this year. Luckily, working from home, I don't have to leave the house that often, so that's always a plus as well. Oh, we got a new subscriber to the channel. I couldn't quite tell with the way I have my screen who that was, but thank you to whoever just subscribed. All right, let me move on to another thing really quick on this, and that is this one from AtGames. Now, AtGames has a new Deluxe table coming out tomorrow. This is going to hit, all the usual platforms, HD, 4K, HDP, all of that kind of stuff. And it looks pretty good from what I can tell. This is Mexico Deluxe. Now, I was not a huge fan of the last game that they released, that Tropical Deluxe. It was okay, but it was a little overload. Way too many flippers, way too much stuff going on. This one looks like it's a little bit more of an open play field, not so flipper crazy. I mean, you got your two main flippers down at the bottom, and you got the ones up here. But these, from the look of it, from what I can tell, look like they're part of an upper play field on either side of the table. Again, not always thrilled with the way Magic Pixel does these when they do the upper and lower play fields. It's not always easy to tell the depth on these, but there we go. It was Connell. Thank you so much for subscribing. Definitely appreciate it. So I'm curious to see this one. I think this is going to be better than the last one. It's got that Day of the Dead. Let me make sure I say it right. Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead kind of theme to it, which looks really cool. So hopefully it plays well. If they send me a code, I will check it out for sure and give you guys a review like I usually do on stuff like that. But really, as far as like other news goes, there's not much else going on right now. Obviously, again, holiday season, getting close to the end of the year, things are slowing down for the most part. I'm drinking a little tea tonight. I got my Grogu mug to go with my sweater and my little guy behind me, of course. You can tell what a fan I am, but it's so cold. I got to drink some tea tonight. I didn't want anything cold. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking out that Mexico game. Even if they don't send it to me, I might pick it up just to check it out because it looks like it could be pretty interesting for sure. That Day of the Dead look is killer. Yeah, I like it. I like the way it looks, so hopefully it plays well too. It's too bad nobody was around to purchase iArcade before they went out of business. iArcade was built so much better than Arcade1up / Basic Fun Cabs. It is a solid machine, and I know Triumph or Die. I know you're a huge iArcade fan. You've got several of them, and I know you've modded quite a few of them with Glenn's KVM switcher and stuff like that. And when it's modded like that, it's an even better machine for sure. The mug matches your sweater. That's exactly right. I did that on purpose. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Make it so. Actually, I think this is just some plain black tea, which may or may not have a little something extra in it. Not saying. Orion's Dream says, nice mug. Thank you. I actually got this. I actually picked this up at a New York Comic-Con one year. They were selling. There's a vendor that sells mugs and shot glasses and pint glasses and stuff like that, where they etch into the ceramic of the mug or the glass or whatever, so it's not like a sticker that's going to come off or anything like that. And they're really cool. They do some good work. So I saw this one year and I thought it was pretty cool. Yes, you did. I made his own Castlevania and Phoenix arcade caps, and they look amazing. That Phoenix one really does look a lot. Obviously, it's not exactly the same shape as a Phoenix cap, but the artwork and everything on it looked fantastic. He did a great job on that. One of these days, I should do a call out to people and have them send me like some of their game room. I know a lot of other people do this. Have them send me like their game rooms or cabs that they do or whatever, so that I can show them on the stream and kind of point them out and stuff. Philly green, or would that be Jets green? I am not much. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a sports guy, like, at all. I'm not into baseball or football or any of that stuff. I'll watch a little golf every once in a while. I kind of like golf because I was always like playing golf, so I'll watch that every once in a while. But the baseball and football stuff, and plus my teams, the teams I am somewhat into. Like, I've always been more of a Giants fan than a Jets fan, and in terms of baseball, it's always been Mets over Yankees. So, like, you can tell where I am. Naughty List MG is here. No saving iArcade. Hideous looking cab, multi-cab with no good games. I would disagree on a couple of points there. First off, I think the gold cab way better looking than the original. And there were a handful of good games, which is not enough to save a company. I agree on that. But there were a handful of really good games on it. And like I said, now that I've put the Glenn's control panel in there with his switcher and his Viper, I've got like 400 or 500 different arcade games in there. I didn't overload it with thousands of games. I kind of picked and choose the ones that I thought I would like that I knew I would like to play, instead of having 1,000 games that you got to scroll through and never play them. And that's made a lot of difference in the arcade for me. But that doesn't really say anything one way or another about the company itself. So I understand where you are coming from on that. Let me see something here. Hang on a minute. I gotta do something here, because I've been saying for a while I was gonna do this. Bear with me for 1 second, MG. I gotta find your chat again. There you are. And there we go. Hey, MG. You're all tricky. Take a look at your name now. Notice anything next to it? Naughty MG got on my case because he keeps saying he's banned, even though he can chat all he wants. And we joked about him being a moderator, even though he's banned. And guess what? He's now a moderator. He's got, let me say it right. He's got a spanner next to his name. So, Merry Christmas, buddy. I trust you will do well. Don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the main topic already here. And of course, the biggest thing is Arcade1up and their apparent buyout from Basic Fun. So, of course, this is the message that, we all saw. Everybody be nice. Everybody be nice. So this is the message that we all saw get posted to Facebook from Basic Fun on behalf of what's going on with Arcade1up. And it says, "Hello, home arcade community. We wanted to address a few questions we've seen circulating about the Arcade1up product lines. Now, Basic Fun has acquired select assets of Arcade1up and intends to support, to the best of our ability, the home arcade category and existing Arcade1up products currently in the market. This asset acquisition reflects our ongoing commitment to expanding our presence in the home arcade space, supporting current Arcade1up titles, and producing alongside and products alongside our own existing arcade offerings. We'll have more to share in the new year and look forward to continuing to serve the arcade fan community. Game on. So, along with this now, obviously, a lot of people in the home arcade community, a lot of YouTubers and everything have picked up on this, have been talking about this for quite some time now. But we're not the only ones, because there have been quite a few websites and different places to pick up on this as well. Here's one. This is Time Extension. Pretty well-known website for covering gaming news and things like that. They posted originally about the rumor that Arcade1up was going under or being bought out or whatever. They've since updated this article with the same information that everybody else has seen. And one really cool thing about this article, if you guys haven't seen this, is my buddy Moat got a shout out on this one. So it says here, 2 weeks ago, Mike of All Trades posted a video which addressed rumors that Basic Fun was acquiring Arcade1up. We're continuing to dig into these rumors, and we'll update this post as and when we hear something official. And of course, that something official was this, but they've got a link to his video, and of course he got a shout out on this. So well done, Moat. I think that's pretty cool to get a shout out on a website like that. But of course, they're not the only one. This Toy News International also picked up on the story, and then just today we had the Toy Book bring this up as well. So, some of you guys may remember the Toy Book. They're the ones who first kind of broke the story and got a lot of the information out about Basic Fun and gave us kind of our first look at some of the cabinets that were going to be coming up later on in the year. We got to see like what the Centipede was going to look like. We got our first look at the WrestleFest cab and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I watched Mo's video. I knew he had the inside track. Absolutely. So they're back with a new article today. This is by the same guy who wrote the original, James Zahn, who's one of the editors and everything of the Toy Book. Breaking news, Basic Fun acquires select assets of Arcade1up. And it goes here, the rumor mill regarding the fate of Tastemakers Arcade1up has been swirling for months, and now following news of a potential closure, which we'll get into in a minute, Basic Fun has confirmed that it's assuming control of the Arcade1up brand following the debut of its own Arcade Classics home arcade range this fall. And then it goes into the message that was posted on the Facebook page, the same one I just read. Basic Fun has been a player in the gaming space for several years, most recently raising the bar with its range of home arcade products. Notably, several people who worked on Arcade1up products were enlisted to work on the Basic Fun range. Meanwhile, Tastemakers, which launched the home arcade resurgence in 2018, has been plagued with misfortune in recent years amid executive turnover, IP disputes with licensors, including recent legal scuffles with Atari and Coleco. And the Coleco thing, my buddy James Hates Everything just did a great video on this with Coleco going after them based on the use of the term head-to-head to describe some of their arcade machines. And then, of course, an incredibly jaded community of gaming enthusiasts. Still, Arcade1up has some big hits in its portfolio, including Infinity Game Table, the Claw Machine, including the SpongeBob SquarePants one, so on and so forth, and says stay tuned for more developments. So, this article just came out today on the Toy Book. I actually reached out to James Zahn, to ask him a little bit about it. I'll get into that in just a minute and let you know kind of what he told me a little bit behind the scenes. What do we got here? We got people congratulating Moat of course. Oh, jeez. All right, Dreams. Thank you so much. Glad my wife made chili that made me hang out in the bathroom for a while. Saw it when I went live. when it went live. That's pretty funny, actually. Thank you for sharing that bit. Hey, Michael B is here. Congrats on the new show. The new show that's going on hiatus for an even newer show to start next year. List of assets that required: terrible TN monitors, rub-off paint for decks, old software for the PCBs that have the games with no Wi-Fi or settings available, Pac-Man license. I'll talk about that. Believe me. I get where you're coming from, Bobby, but it's not quite like that. At least I don't believe so. Misfortune, like it was all just bad luck. Yeah, really. You know, you don't just get sued for nothing. They're coming out with the noggin to noggin model soon. That's pretty funny. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit about like the progression and how we got here. And first off, of course, I already mentioned this. We had Moat's video come out, talk about at the time the rumor that Basic Fun was looking to acquire Arcade1up. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of us did feel like we were a little skeptical of that. I mean, why is my camera's being a little weird here? I feel like I'm off a little bit, like I'm looking at the other side of the screen. Let's try that a little bit. So I think a lot of us were a little bit skeptical at the time, just because, you know, it was just the one video. And again, this is not to disparage Moat at all. He was obviously spot on. He knows his stuff for sure. Not the kind of guy to just throw something out there like that without having a little something to back it. But still, I think we were waiting for a little bit more at the time. Then we got a leaked email from somebody claiming to be a part of the beta team on that. And that started to go a little bit further. But that started the speculation of, well, wait, maybe they're closing down altogether, because that email really did make it sound like they were closing down. Of course, I did a video on this as well, talking about that. What's funny about that, with not just my video, but with several other people who made similar videos, is how many people jumped on that and said and tried to make the case that Arcade1up wasn't dead, wasn't going out of business, that we were all basically full of crap. We had no idea what we were talking about. If you go back and watch my video, at no point in that video did I ever definitively say, yes, they were going out of business. In fact, I said everything should be taken with a grain of salt, that until there's some confirmation, it's all rumors and speculation. We really don't know what's going on. I even said I thought that perhaps this just meant that the beta team was closing down and we'd have to wait and see what was going on, and then led back into the whole thing about the Basic Fun buying them rumors. So again, sometimes you really got to listen to what people are saying in the videos you watch, and not jump to your own conclusions of what you think they were saying. I'm just going to throw that out there. But moving on but to talk about that email for a little bit, and again, when it first came out, like a lot of us just saw kind of like the redacted email. We didn't know who it was really from. We didn't see all the information or whatever. Well, I will tell you that since then I have actually seen the full email. I do know who the person was who wrote it. And doing a little more research into that person, yes, they are a part of the beta team. They are a big part of the beta team. And the interesting thing, and I'm not going to bring it up because I think there's a lot of people who have already figured out or know who the person is, but I'm not going to say who it is on here. Again, it probably doesn't even matter at this point, because if they really are, if the beta team and all that really are closed down at this point, what does it matter who leaked the thing? But I looked up this person on LinkedIn, and the interesting thing is that, first off, it lists their time with Arcade1up as being from 2020 to December 2025, not 2020 to present, which is what you would expect for somebody who still works for a company. It specifically says ends 2025. Not only that, but they had a post on their LinkedIn from about a month ago putting out feelers for other jobs. So it makes you wonder, how long did this person know that something was going down, or start to see the writing on the wall or whatever? At least a month. They had to know that this was coming. Not only that, I've since looked up a few other people from Tastemakers and Arcade1up and whatever. Now, LinkedIn's kind of funny because a lot of people are very invested in it and a lot of people aren't. Like for me, I know I have a LinkedIn on there. I post some of my videos to it from time to time, but I don't really do much with it other than that. Whereas a lot of people update it constantly. So there's a lot of people on there who still list their present for Arcade1up. There's some people who have actually listed that ended December 2025 as well. There's also people on kind of both of those ranges who, on their LinkedIn, it has hashtag open to work, and they've been posting about looking for additional jobs. So again, in this merger, in this acquisition from Basic Fun, it's looking like a lot of people are not going to be working there anymore. A lot of people are moving on to other things, being let go, whatever it is. And that sucks, especially around Christmas time. So I don't want to make light of that. I don't want to make light of people losing their jobs because I think that sucks, especially around a holiday time. I never understood why companies let people go at Thanksgiving time or Christmas time or any of that kind of stuff. It's kind of the worst thing that you can do. But again, this was just something that kind of happened. Not kind of happened. I'm sure it was in the works for a while, but it's the timing and the timing to do this at the end of the year to go into the new year for a company does make sense. But again, just in looking into this, it's definitely leading a lot more credence to, where this ultimately went. And then, of course, we wound up with this announcement that we've talked about with them. So basically, if I could just break it down and make it simple for you, Arcade1up, as owned and a subsidiary of Tastemakers, is no more. However, the Arcade1up brand, or at least certain facets of the brand, will continue under Basic Fun. Now, do they keep the Arcade1up name? Or do they merge it into their arcade classics and just, again, continue to support what's already out there? And I know I've been kind of rambling for a while. I've been kind of ignoring the chat. Let me see what people have to say here. Galaga guy, but I heard Arcade1up was going to be around for a long time and give us Time Crisis again. Doesn't look like it, buddy. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah, a rumor to some. Yeah, not to everybody. Jason, you're the best. Thank you so much for that. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. What else we got going on? Those trying to call out others for misinformation didn't listen to the information given and are giving out misinformation. I call that irony. There's definitely some truth to that. I don't want to get into it too much, but thank you for that. It would seem logical if select assets only are being acquired, that Basic Fun would use their own testers. Yeah, I'm sure they already have testers in place, although I'm sure some people who got or saw some of their first outings might disagree with that. Maybe they need better testers. Neo says, one thing is for certain, this didn't happen overnight. Agreed. So the other thing I want to talk about is, they did say that come the new year we'd get more information. Now, when that new information is going to come, we don't know. Some people are speculating CES. I think CES might be too soon, at least too soon to see any new product that's come from the merger. There might be new product at CES that Basic Fun was already working on up to this point. So we might see that. But in terms of what the merger is going to be, it might be a little too soon. However, in 2 months' time is the New York Toy Fair again, which is where we saw Basic Fun for the first time last year. It's probably a safer bet that we might see and get more information around that time. So, again, if there's nothing really new at CES, and again, CES is the beginning of January. It's the 6th through the 9th. We're talking 2-3 weeks away. So I wouldn't be too worried if we're not seeing anything major. Maybe they make an announcement. Do they show anything off? I don't know. Might get an announcement. But maybe see something a little bit more at New York Toy Fair, which again, we didn't really see anything at New York Toy Fair. New York Toy Fair is not open to the public. It's open to people in the industry. Again, James Zahn works for Toy Books. He will most likely be there. He as a matter of fact, he told me he's going to be there. So maybe we'll get some information out of that again. Maybe it'll be in the toy book. I'll try to reach out to him again and see if I can get him to tell me anything afterwards. But in terms of like this whole thing about assets, I think the transition was happening when Cyrus moved over. I don't think he moved to a new company. Again, yes, I would tend to agree with that. I think Cyrus may have had a lot to do with some of this. But in terms of talking about, like, say, well, what assets did they get? And again, we don't know for sure. But I will tell you some of the things that I think could possibly be of benefit is one of the things is like cab designs. There certainly wouldn't be any issue now with having cabs that look like the ones from Arcade1up. As opposed to trying to develop their own designs from scratch, as they obviously kind of did. Now, their cabs had a very similar look anyway, but they could certainly share manufacturing and design with what Arcade1up had already done now going forward. Some of their technology, and again, with the PCBs, good or bad or whatever, there is some things there that Basic Fun didn't have in their original cabs, like Wi-Fi and things like that. So maybe they incorporate that into the second generation of their cabs going forwards. Of course, one of the big things is infrastructure. And I'm mostly talking about like the servers for online play, for online leaderboards and stuff like that. If Basic Fun is going to take those over, then that means those of us who have existing Arcade1up cabs don't necessarily need to worry about those suddenly going offline where we won't be able to play online or we won't have the leaderboards. It's very possible that they continue those pretty much as is and we won't even notice the difference on them. Or maybe they do some things on the back end or whatever to maybe make them a little better and whatever, and maybe that trickles out to the machines. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But there's some things like that. If Arcade1up has any specific patents, those could potentially move over too, because patents are transferable. You can buy them, you can acquire them as well. So that's a possibility as well. Now, one of the things that they will not acquire in this are any existing licenses with other companies. Those are new deals that are going to have to be made. But there's a few things to remember about that. Number one is that if you think about it, Basic Fun already had a lot of the same licenses anyway, or they've picked up some that Arcade1up lost, like Atari. So Atari, started suing tastemakers and Arcade1up. That deal was pretty much done, but we've already seen Basic Fun put out Atari cabs, so that's something that obviously they have a license for. The fact that they've put out Star Wars means they have a relationship with Disney as well, so that could go somewhere. Back when these cabs were first announced, one of the ones that they talked about putting out was Pac-Man. Now, I know, Pac-Man fatigue. We've seen Pac-Man a million times. But if you think about it, that means a potential partnership with Namco Bandai. So we could see something come from that. They've talked about doing Turtles, which means they've picked up Konami, which Arcade1up has lost. So what did Arcade1up have maybe that they could take advantage of? Raw Thrills, what is it? The Incredible Technologies, the Golden Tee stuff, maybe Capcom, maybe. We'll have to wait and see with that. Because what I have to assume with this is I think a lot of us would love that. A lot of us would love that. They'll turn off their servers and force us to upgrade to their new machines. This is corporation. They won't keep supporting cabs for long. You know what? We'll have to wait and see. According to that announcement they put out, they want to support the existing products that are already out there. It really wouldn't cost them much to just keep those running and then use those for the new cabs. It's got to be cheaper to keep those and maintain those and keep those running because they've already got the infrastructure, and then just add on any new machines that they make than scrapping them and starting from scratch. I'll just put that out there. Again, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Bobby 1ALU, you could be very right. We'll have to wait and see. Again, maybe a Tron XL from Thumper Squid. I would love that. I missed out on Tron. I would love a Tron machine for sure. I'd love to see them pick up Dragon's Lair. Back to what I was saying about the licenses, though. A lot of times, companies make exclusive deals when it comes to licensing, which means that if you're a company that makes 3/4 scale cabs and you get license ABC, you make it exclusive so that nobody else can make a competing product, meaning they can't make a cab in that same kind of size and dimensions and whatever. That's why, you sometimes see, a cab from one company, like a cab, like let's say, was Centipede or something. I think New Wave Toys did a Centipede, didn't they? Way back in the day, I didn't have that one. I know they've done Missile Command, but let's go with Centipede. New Wave Toys did a Centipede, so did Arcade1up. That's perfectly fine because they're different scales. You have a 1/6 scale versus a 3/4 scale, very different. So the licenses, kind of work. A lot of times they do work in that way. But with Arcade1up done in this respect, that frees up those licenses for Basic Fun to then go ahead and be able to pick up as well. And I would assume having Cyrus there, whether you like him or not, he was the license guy at Arcade1up after John D left. He's at least got to have contacts. He's at least got to have the contacts to put it in with Basic Fun. Now, I do want you to think about this, though, because we've got another player out there in John D with Media 1UP and Iconic. And love him or hate him, John D's a shrewd guy. And I will tell you that he has probably known or heard rumblings about this for quite some time as well. So is he out there trying to snatch up some of these licenses in the interim to try to maybe prevent Basic Fun from getting them? We'll have to wait and see on that. I want you to keep that one in mind as we get into the new year, because anything is possible with some of this. I hope I'm wrong, but every time AtGames launched a new pinball machine, they force us to buy licenses again, even though this is all digital and it wouldn't cost them much to maintain. I understand where you're coming from on that. Yep, I could definitely understand where you're coming from on that. There's no one they'll get any license they want to pad and more guaranteed. Again, B. Kirby, don't count out John D. Don't count him out. And even though his machines are in a slightly larger scale, I think they still fall within the same range as what Arcade1up did, what Basic Fun has did. Again, we don't really know what the details were, but apparently they had thrown a cease and desist out to John D and Iconic over the Street Fighter ones. Even though they're a larger machine, there was something about them that was close enough that they felt the need to do a cease and desist. So I think they still fall within the same category of machine types. So again, watch out for that. That's Basic Fun is a licensing journal. Yeah, and I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit in just a minute too. I'd assume they have something worked out with Coleco. I certainly would not purchase those assets with that cloud hanging over their head. Yeah, I'm sure that they're working through a lot of that. Either that, or they just said, "All right, we just won't take the head-to-head tables as part of the deal." We'll just have to wait and see. If John D has any pull with Capcom, that may be the one license space someone won't be able to continue, even when Up stopped producing Street Fighter once John D left for Iconic. Yeah, pretty much. Although they did put out newer iterations of Marvel vs. Capcom with like the Kith deal and some of that other stuff as well. So you can't really say they lost Capcom altogether. So again, keep that in mind. But I do want to talk about this for just a few minutes as we get close to the end. Now, like I said, I saw the Toy Book article today. I reached out to James Zahn, who wrote the article, and I asked him if he had any kind of behind the scenes, any kind of more information he could potentially share in relation to what was going on. And while he didn't have anything specific to this, he did tell me a couple of things. One thing that he said was, interestingly enough, once the initial machines started coming out and whatever, he met with them a few times. He was brought over to see some of the machines and things that were going out. And I think it might have been like maybe when some of the people started moving over from Arcade1up to Basic Fun, he asked them straight out if they were in the process of buying Arcade1up. This was several months back. At the time, the answer was actually no, but we kind of see where we are now. Another thing he did tell me was, though, that he has seen some prototypes, some potentials for other cabs that haven't been put out yet or that haven't been made public yet. And he was actually very excited to see those and thinks that they would be very interesting. This guy, James, he believe it or not, he's somebody who's into this community too. He's got a few, he's had a few of these Arcade1up machines and home arcade machines. So he's very, very excited and interested in them as well. So he was really excited to see some of the things that they have potentially planned for the future. He says, according to his meetings with Basic Fun, that they are listening to feedback and are committed to growing the home arcade movement. So hopefully some of the things that people have been saying about these first round of machines is sinking in, and they can use that to move forward. Again, with this merger, maybe do a better job of learning from the wrong things and the right things that Arcade1up did, and maybe when we get the next batch of things, they can kind of incorporate that. Hey, Gotham City Arcade, always good to see you, brother. Happy holidays to you. You too, man. Appreciate that. But here's one of the big takeaways from him, and Neo said it as well. What you guys have to understand is that Jason Little Alien is one of the best guys out there for gifting 10 memberships to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Welcome to the Billbarians, you guys. And thank you for that, Jason. You are the best. I absolutely appreciate you doing that, brother. You didn't have to, but I definitely appreciate it. Israel Gaming is here. Just got off work, Bill. What I miss? Unfortunately, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay because we're getting close to the end now. But I'm getting to the crux of things right now. One of the things that's actually pretty exciting in some respects of Basic Fun taking this over, even if they've had some missteps for these kind of first batch of machines that they put out, is you have to understand what a big company Basic Fun is. Way bigger than Tastemakers, way bigger than what Arcade1up was for Tastemakers. You're talking about a company that owns licenses like Light Bright, My Little Pony, Care Bears, Tonka. Neo said it. They're a license purchasing machine. And one thing is that B. Kirby is not going to be outdone by what Jason Little Alien has done, and he has now gifted 20 memberships to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, B. Kirby, for doing that. You don't have to do that. Let's not turn this into some crazy contest. We don't have to do that. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nice little holiday gifts for some of the people out there who have gotten their membership. Appreciate you guys, as always. Well, let me get back to this. Let me just finish this up really quick. So Basic Fun, like I said, this is what they do. They have been buying up these companies for years. They are pretty much the ultimate toy company at this point. And yes, these are still toys. At the end of the day, these are still toys. Big toys, expensive toys, still toys. So they've got a lot of muscle behind them. They've got funding. They've got the funding behind them to do this. They've got a chain of suppliers and retailers bigger than Arcade1up ever had to be able to get these out in more locations. So there is a good chance that we could see a lot. There's a good chance that we could see games and machines like we saw several years ago when Arcade1up was doing 10, 15 different machines every year. I don't know. Maybe they take a more measured approach. Maybe they put out a handful each year and build it and see how it goes or whatever. But they've got the money to do this. They've got the muscle to do this. They've got the retail infrastructure and all of that. So it's a possibility that this could turn out to be something really good. Again, we'll know a lot more as time goes on, as we start to get into the new year. The new year's not that far away. I would expect, hopefully, like I said, within the first month or two, whether that's CES, whether that's New York Toy Fair, whether that's something in between, hopefully we'll get to see some more on this. Jason Alien is a great guy, but Pete Kirby is just a little better. Oh, you guys are funny. You're both great guys. I'm just going to say that. You guys are both great guys. Oh, My Little Pony. Now we know where Nostalgia is. He's working for Basic Fun, bringing us 3/4 My Little Pony Arcade Madness. Oh, that's pretty funny. But again, you laugh, but these are big names. These are big names in the toy industry. So we'll have to wait. My yet unreleased cab wish list is Cubert, Robotron, Yair, Kung Fu, Gauntlet, Spy Hunter, Afterburner, Open Ice, G.I. Joe, Star Wars Trilogy, Alien vs. Predator, MK4, Tekken, Neo Geo Big Red. Look, anything's a possibility. We'll just have to wait and see, again, what happens. Again, there's some excitement to be had here, whether it's Basic Fun picking up the Arcade1up brand, or whether it, if you're excited for what John D and Media 1UP are doing with Iconic. Again, we haven't seen those cabs officially come out yet. It's not going to be till into the new year at this point, which is a shame. But it does lead me to think that 2026 might be a pretty good year after the dull, lackluster couple of years we've had in the home arcade community. I'm cautiously excited for the next year. I think there's going to be some big things to talk about, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Guys, it's pretty much it. Arcades Anonymous is going to start in a couple of minutes, so I'm going to have a redirect to send you guys over there for sure. If you're watching this on replay, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this? Again, I'll just say it. Arcade1up is dead, but long live Arcade1up. As a company under Tastemakers, this is the end for them. But with Basic Fun picking up the brand, well, we'll have to wait and see. Again, Does that mean the Arcade1up brand goes on? Does that mean everything merges into their arcade classics? We'll know more. We'll know more as we get into the beginning of the year. But again, being cautiously optimistic and hopeful for some good stuff next year. Guys, before I end the stream, again, in case you missed it in the beginning, this is the last show of 2025. Taking time off for Christmas Eve, taking time off for New Year's Eve. You guys should too. Enjoy your time with your family. If you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything like that, happy holidays to you guys too. I know Hanukkah's going on right now. Enjoy the holidays. It's going to be pretty good. I'm planning on being back January 7th. Now, January 7th happens to be my birthday. And I'm looking at restructuring some things with the show in the interim over the next couple of weeks here. Planning something pretty special for my birthday. I don't want to put it out there just yet because I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. But I'm hoping for a really good show that day. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy soon-to-be 2026. Hopefully it's going to be a really good year. And like I said, if you're watching this on a replay, leave some comments below. If you haven't done it yet before you leave, please give me a like. Give me a thumbs up on the video. It always helps out for sure. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that as well. And of course, thank you again to Jason and B Kirby for the memberships. Anybody else, if you want to get a membership, 99 cents a month, helps the channel out, helps me keep doing what I'm doing, helps me do some different things like I purchased a new camera recently, which I'm loving. So that always helps out for sure as well. Guys, go check out Arcades Anonymous, and I will see you in the new year. Take care, and happy gaming.